So we're just going to do a quick intro video today, how to change your tyre when you've got a puncture. So we're going to change an inner tube, so we'll just get right into it. First thing when you're taking off your wheel is you want to drop into your lowest gear, and that makes it a lot easier to take off the wheel. So we're just going to go and do that first. Then, depending on what bike you have, you're going to need to release your brakes as well, so you can get the wheel out. And just go and release that quick release, and the wheel will just drop right out. And we have our wheel. So you see it's completely flat, so we're going to need to replace it. So we're going to start by just removing the valve cover and the little ring, so that we can get into the tube when we take it off. So the main thing you'll need for this is a set of tyre levers, and it makes it easier if you have a table or desk or something like that to work on. Okay, so we've got our tyre levers, so we're going to put the first one in, close to the valve here. Make sure that's seated nicely with the tyre. Then we're going to get our second one, and just a bit of space along, too little and it won't work, too much and it'll be too difficult. So you've got your space in there, and then the tyre should just pop off. And you're going to just run one along the inside of the tyre. And that, same in the other direction. It's a little bit fiddly. That's your tyre halfway off. Now you're going to peel it back so you can get your inner tube out. And that's the old tube, the punctured one. Okay, now you've got your good tube out, you're just going to want to check if there's an obvious place where a hole is. If it's an easily fixable hole, then you can repair it with some puncture repair, or if not, you're going to want to replace your tube. The other thing is to check the tyre while you've got the tube out. So you want to check all along the inside. You've not got any pieces of glass or thorns or anything like that that's caused the puncture. So once you know it's all good, you can go back to putting in the new tube. Okay, so we get a new tube, and when we put it back in, it helps to put a little bit of air into it, just gives it a bit of shape. So we can get a pump. If you have a hand pump, it works as well, but one of these fit pumps makes it a lot easier. So just a little bit of air, just to give it some shape. We're going to find the valve hole, peel the tyre back, put the new tube in. Then we're just going to run that tube all the way around. Make sure it's seated. So now we're going to start from the opposite end to where the valve is. Again, this is just a wee tip that makes it easier, because the valve gets in the way otherwise. So from the other side, you're going to tuck the other half of the tyre over the wheel and work your way around using your thumbs to just push it in. Push a little bit too much air in it, like it does right now. After pumping it up, just let it out now it's in place. And just run. It comes all the way around to get that tyre into place. Now it's the last bit that gets a little bit difficult. So there's a few tips you can see at the ends here. It's quite tight right now. So there's a few tips to get it over. First one is you want to try and feed the tyre from the back end, the opposite ends, and get as much of the tyre onto the side that you're trying to fit as you can. And then when it comes round, it should have enough slack to just pop over the top. Now if that doesn't work and it's still really tight, you can also put a little bit of fairy liquid on the inside, which makes it slip on a little bit easier. So now you've got that back in place. You're going to stick your little ring back on. That just helps hold the valve in place. And you just want to pump the tyre up. Again, with the track pump, it's a lot easier, but you can do it with a hand pump if that's all you've got as well. Okay, so when you're pumping up the tyre, to know the pressure, we're going to look around the edge of the rim. It's quite faint, but you can see a minimum and maximum. So here it's 100 psi minimum and 130 maximum. So that's going to be your range that you want to put your tyre up to. Okay, so now you've got your tyre pumped up, it's just a case of putting it back into the bike. So brakes are still undone to make it easy to get in. You want to make sure you get it between the two parts of the chain, and pull the derailleur back and set it in that lowest gear. It should just all pop right into place. Now, I usually tighten it in the frame, and take the bike out of the frame, out of the stand, put it on the ground, and just undo it and tighten it up again. And that just makes it seated properly. And then just finish up, back in the stand, and just redo your brakes back tight. And that's your puncture repaired.